Hello guys, so today what we're going to do is we're going to build a Flask web interface for the API that I built in the previous video. So just to recap some of the things that we did previously, I configured um, the API routes. I implemented two API routes, the query route and the model route, and we tested them using Swagger UI. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to run the API first to confirm if it's working. Then I'm going to continue with what we're supposed to do today. So the first thing is I'm going to just run this like we did last time. We need to first check if Ollama is running or Ollama is installed. So we can just do Ollama PS. We can see that Ollama is configured properly. So now what we need to do is to just activate the conda environment. And the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to run the API script. Okay, so now we can see that the API is running. So what you can do, right? We can go to okay, we can cat this one and get the URL. So we need to open the API on this URL. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open it using Swagger UI, and we can see that the API is still running. You can see that everything is configured properly. I can actually test this, but to avoid wasting time, I'm just going to um, continue with what I'm supposed to do today. So let me clear this, and I'm going to leave this running for now. And here I'm going to reactivate this environment. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be focusing on this folder, which is the Flask app that we need to build for our API to use, so that it's easier for you to input queries and get answers or responses without you needing to use this interface, this Swagger UI interface. So what we're going to do is we're going to just cd into this. So because this requires some time to implement, I'm just going to, like I did last time, I already implemented this and the templates. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use Flask as the backend, and I'm going to use um, HTML, CSS, and JS for simplicity and for you to easily grasp the concepts that we're going to talk about. So this is the first thing we need to what to build the web chat interface. So first thing that we're going to do is I'm just going to okay, let me open this. I'm just going to open my IDE and check what we have in our code. So this is just a simplified way to do it. But when it comes to production applications, you need to make sure that you separate some of these like CSS, JS, and HTML. But for now, I just implemented like everything in one file to avoid having multiple files and moving around looking for things. So the first thing that we need to do is just implement the CSS. Just the CSS. This is the styling of the web interface. And the next thing, this is the HTML. This is the um, these are the HTML tags, and these are some of the things that you see on the interface. You see something like this. Where you are, you see something like this. You see the initializing and stuff like this. And this is what you're going to do. Uh, this interface is going to have. Let me go back to this. So the interface is going to have several things. So we're going to have this is model drop down. This is going to be where we select the models. We're going to have a chat input where we're going to input our queries or our questions. Then we're going to display the responses, and then we're going to have a status indicator whether or not, for example, it's connected or the models are running and stuff like that. So this is the first thing that we need to do. We need to make sure that we understand what you're going to do. So this is just a very basic UI. It just says model drop downs where we're going to select models like we did last time. I showed you that this is how you check the models. This is how you check the models in Ollama. So what you're going to do is we're going to have a list of these models, a drop down list of these models. We're going to have a chance to select one of them to use when we run our UI. So this is the first thing that we need to do. And these ones are just like basic. These are just like prompts, like basic prompts that are going to appear on the UI, where you can just click it, and then it will, and then click the send query button. So this is just like an example, prompt, and this is the send query button, and this is the JS, this is the JavaScript that is going to help us have functionality in our web app. So this file, if you need this file, I can send you this file. You can just let me know. I'll send you this file. Try it by yourself. So this is just a very basic JavaScript um, code, and this is the HTML, and this is the CSS. So this is going to be in our templates. This is the only template that we have. Only have the index, and now we need to make sure that implement the app. So this is the backend. This is what is going to communicate with our API. So like I said last time, we have an API. This is the API that we implemented, and it's on port 8000. So this is the URL. This is where we find our API. So to confirm that this is working, since this is already running, um, I can check. This is already running. It's supposed to what? It's supposed to tell me something about this. So okay, so let's do docs, something like this. Yeah. So you can see this is the Swagger UI. This is the Swagger UI UI. So it's just showing that it's accessible. Now let me try and go back to the backend. So the backend, what we have is we have these several routes. We have the first one is the models, and this is this is just what you're going to do. We're going to implement this route, which is the models route, and then we're going to have the query route, this query route, and then we're going to have this health. So some of these they're going to give us the status of things and how things are going. For example, if it's the API is not connected, or if the backend models are not connected to tell us. So this is just what this does. So basically, almost everything that we did previously is same, but what just changes that we have a backend, and the backend is communicating with our API backend, which is this file that we implemented last time. So this is just communicating with this, and it's getting the responses from this, and it's going to give us the responses back to our web interface. So the URL is this, right? The Ollama URL that we had on this one, we know that it's on this port. It's on this port. This on this port. This is where we find the Ollama. Uh, this is the Ollama URL. But since we implemented this, we're going to leverage or already implemented API to help us get the responses. So this is what we're going to do, and we can go through some of these, and you can see that the models is just going to go through the first API, right? Then it goes this route. This is the route that we implemented previously. It's this route, this models route. This is just what it's going to do, and then it's going to give us back the models. So when it gives us back the models, we need to make sure that the models are in the correct format. So we just do some formatting here. We just do some formatting, and we make sure that we present the model as the correct format so that it can be used by this. So this is the first thing that we need to do. And now the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to have the query route. So um, this is the query route. So we have the model, we have the prompt. So we're going to feed the model and the prompt, which is similar to what we did last time. Here we're going to get the model, and then we're going to get the prompt from this um, request. And what we're going to do is we're going to uh, make sure that we have this payload, this first API request. Then we're going to feed it into our requests, and this timeout you can increase it if you want. If you're using like models that take longer, you can reduce it if you're using like smaller models, so that it doesn't give you like timeout errors. So this is the thing that we're going to do. We're going to have this first API URL, then we're going to go to the query route, which is this route, which is this route, and then we're going to feed it. We're going to feed it this this payload, and then we're going to get the response, and then the response is going to be um, uh, formatted also, so that it's in the correct format. And like I said, this is just for health check. It checks the health status of Flask server, if the first API connection is there or not. So this is what all this does. It's just for connection checking. And our new port that we're going to be using is 5000. So this is the port that we're going to access the Flask app on. So after running this, we're going to access our Flask app on this URL. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go back to this this and I'm going to turn off this server. I'm going to turn off this server. I would just want to show you something. So we're going to cd back into Flask app, then we're going to run this, right? So you might be wondering, what is this? What is the difference between this and the ones that we had previously? So The main difference is that let me so the main difference is that we added these ones. We added a request already added the request from our previous video. So we now have we added Flask and we added this Flask course. So these should be installed using the same method that we used previously, which is just pip install our requirements .txt like this. Txt like this. So because I already installed this, you can see that it's saying the requirement is already satisfied. It doesn't have anything to install. So that's what you just need to do to make sure that these ones, these imports won't give you errors. These imports. So this is what we need to do to ensure that we won't have errors importing these libraries. So now that this is done, we can run our app. So I'm going to run it first without connecting to the API that we created in our previous video. I'm just going to do this. Right. So now we can access it here. I can copy this, and then I can. So to check if this is running, we can do this, and then we see that this is already turned off, so it's not running. So now let's try to check this. Right. So now you can see that this is the UI that we just made. This is just the basic UI that we made, and you can see that we have this error, which is failed to load models, could not connect to Ollama API. Make sure that Fast API server is running on port 8000. So this is what we need to do. We need to make sure that this is running. So we're going to rerun this. Now that this is running, I'm going to reload this. Now you can see that it's connected, right? So this is one thing that you need to also make sure that you do. Make sure that this server, this API is running, and we can check the models that we have. You can see these are the models that we have, and to confirm if this is correct, like I said last time, just go to Ollama, um, like this, Ollama list. This we can see that these models are these models. So it means that our backend is working perfectly fine. And what we can do is we can try one of these models. So we can choose a very small model to test with. So this tiny llama is about 637 megabytes. So this is very small, and it's supposed to take less time compared to these ones, the one that I had last time, because my GPU is not as powerful as some of these high-end GPUs. So just going to use this one. Just going to use this one to test. And this is the query that I'm just going to input. Explain machine learning concepts. Now I'm going to run this, and we can just wait for a few seconds. It's supposed to give us the response. Right. So this is the response that we just got. So like I said, I used Tiny Llama latest this. So you can see the response is saying machine learning, ML is a field of computer science that aims to build and use algorithms to solve complex problems in areas such as analysis, decision making, etc. So this is the response that we got. So you can see that this is a very basic chat um, chat UI that you can build on your own. It did not require a lot of frameworks, a lot of libraries. It's just some basic HTML, CSS, and um, just the use of Ollama and Fast API. So this is a way that you can implement something like this. You can also write. You can also say something like uh, uh, let's say, okay, let's just say something like hello, something like this, right? So because this model, like I said, it's a very basic model. You can see that some of these responses they're not they're not as you might expect or something like that. So you can see that we have some hallucinations and stuff like that. But this is a very small model. You expect this to happen sometimes. So if you want to have better responses, you can also use larger models and something like that. So let me just try something like write something like um, list top 10 comedy shows um, on okay of all time. So this is a very subjective thing. So you can just take a look at what it's going to list. But this might not be your top 10, but it's just what the model thinks. So you can try it out. You can try it out. You can see these are some of the movies, comedy shows that it just listed, and you can do all these things and do several things that you want. This is just the first part of the this is just some basic questions or queries that you can do. But the good thing about this is all this is happening on my machine. It's not on a server. I'm not paying any money for these models. I'm not doing any. I'm not spending anything on these models. Everything is just running on my PC, on my machine, which is something that you can do as a side project, and you can have all these models locally on your machine, and you can try as many questions as you can. You can try to play around with this. So this is just a very basic uh, video on how to create a very basic query UI like this that is access to an API, and that uses Ollama to uh, um, to give responses. That uses models from Ollama to give you some responses. So this is all I'm going to talk about today, and the video is over. Thank you for watching.